Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram. I offer my salutations to Bhagavan Shankara, who is the embodiment of the Shrutis, the Smritis, and the Puranas, who is compassionate and is a benefactor of the world. Verse 39. The wise one should intelligently merge the entire objective world in the Atman alone and constantly think of that Atman as the stainless sky. Now we have, even in the previous verse, which we had not discussed it fully, we will discuss it within the context of this verse. The previous verse is sitting in a solitary place, freeing the mind from desires and controlling the senses. Meditate with unswerving attention on the infinite Atman, which is one without a second. So there is an instruction given for meditation. One should meditate. And that is something which needs to be emphasized. People think you can learn and understand Advaita Vedanta without practice. Learning and understanding Vedanta, it's not speculative. It entails practice. So, yeah, hearing constantly about this Atman, etc. And then what? Well, Sri Ramakrishna used to say, well, if you say Siddhi is a type of intoxicant. You won't get intoxicated. You'll have to go and get that herb, rub it, make a paste out of it, put it in milk or water and drink it, and then you'll get intoxicated. So, Indian philosophy was not philosophy in the ordinary sense of speculation. How the world works or how the world is supposed to work. Indian philosophy is called darshana, to see, to experience. And the whole idea is not to find out what's the cause of all this, but to realize the cause. So, the teachings of Vedanta have always been joined to the teachings of meditation. Not meditation in the sense closing your eyes. This is the instruction for meditation. The wise, we had discussed the word dhi. Dhi is, it comes from that's a pure intelligence. We had said that in the Gayatri mantra, the prayer is, may that dhi, the buddhi, be awakened within me. So the wise one, Sudhi, one who has got a beautiful intelligence. Wise is translated wise. Should intelligently, dhiya, Sudhi, dhiya. A wonderful play of words. So remember, buddhi is generally translated as the intellect, intelligence. The very kind of refined intelligence is what is called the. It's a spiritual intellect. Shri Ramakrishna gives the example, yeah, the crow thinks it's intelligent, but he eats all the filth around. Shri Ramakrishna also says, that is intelligence where one realizes God, which one takes one to God. That is intelligence. So he's saying the wise one should intelligently merge. Now this is a bit, what? The entire objective world, this entire objective world has to be merged. But how do you do that? Well, now the objective world is being perceived by you. This perception. So it has to be merged in the Atman. It's given, it's supposed to have been understood, but we find in the Upanishads, they have spoken about it. So before we can go into it, merge, the note says, the entire sense-perceived world is falsely superimposed on the Atman. Swami Nikhilananda goes to the extreme of it. He doesn't take baby steps. So you find in your body, you have this body, you have the senses. If you have a body without the senses, we know what happens. Your body is useless. So you have a body and you have senses, the sensory and the motor organs. Now suppose you don't have a mind with that. Then your body and your senses are useless. And now, suppose you have the body, the senses, the mind even, but you don't have the intellect. So it's useless. Yeah. That's why the Bhagavad Gita says, Indriyani parani ahu indriyabhyah param mana, manasastu para buddhi, etc. So what we have is, higher than the senses is the mind. Higher than the mind is the intellect. And higher than the intellect is that. What is that? Oh, we'll come down to this. This occurs in the 3rd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. But in the Upanishads, we find the same sequence. It says, Indriyebhya para yartha, arthebhyasya param mana, manasastu para buddhi, buddhiratma man para. So, higher than the sense objects. You have the objects, you know. You have senses and you have the objects. So he's saying the objects are even stronger than senses. If you don't have the object, you won't have senses. So, yeah, look at it. We are in the evolutionary trap. Like the cheetah has to run fast to catch the gazelle. The gazelle has to run fast to escape the cheetah. They are both locked in the evolutionary race. Who wins will get it. So everywhere, our senses and everything have adapted ourselves to the external world in order to survive. We don't need to run after like the cheetah to catch a gazelle. We can intelligently trap them. But that's a different way. So the Upanishads say, higher than the senses and they are locked with the object, sense object, is the mind. And higher than the mind is the intellect, buddhi. So in Indian psychology, philosophy, these two things are separate. Mind is separate. Here we use the word mind for everything together. In philosophy now, there are these, the mind, the intellect, the ego, the aham, and memory. They are distinct and yet they operate all together. Okay. So you have to merge now. He's saying you have to intelligently merge the entire objective world. So your perception, the objects have and the senses have been merged in the mind. The mind has been merged in the intellect. And the intellect has been merged in the individual soul. And that individual soul has been merged in the higher soul, Mahata. And then that has been remerged in something higher, Param Avyakta, Avyaktat Purusha. There where there is no subject-object. Avyaktat Purusha, Purushanna Parakan. So there is nothing higher than the Purusha. Everything goes and merges there. How? Well, in the Bhagavad Gita, again, you get an example of Kurmongani Vasarva. Like the tortoise withdraws its limbs, retracts its limbs. Similarly, you retract your senses and merge them in them. How do you merge them? Because every subsequent evolution in our perception or in our being is nothing but a chain of cause and effect. So the more subtle the mind is, compared to that, the senses are gross. Not in the sense of, gross. But it is gross in the sense of it is physical. And the mind is even more subtle than the senses. And the intellect is even more subtler than the mind. So it is going back to its causes. You have to merge. In the Yoga Sutras, you will call it pratyahara, pulling back. Can you do that? Yes, you can do that. That flow of energy that is going out through the senses can be stilled. Why? How? Oh, that is the basis of building character. Not simply running around with things that excite you and you desire, you run behind it. Immediate gratification. No. When you stop it, you pull back. That is what is called building up of character, building up your willpower. So you have this idea of immediate gratification is bad, and it is found to be bad in the long run. In the short run, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, okay. But then you exhaust yourself, you expend yourself. So it's like Swami Vivekananda says, all outgoing powers, when curbed and pulled back in, goes to build up control. Control of the senses and control of the mind. So you merge one after another. It's like telescoping one into another, getting deeper, 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 deeper. And this is how one should intelligently merge the entire objective world in the Atma. The objective world is now being merged in the subject. There it is. The Atman is the subject. Always. And constantly think of that Atman as the stainless sky. So we had a few days of clear skies, stainless sky. Then today we had some clouds. So the Atman is like that. There is the clarity, the luminosity, and then the clouds of thoughts, feelings, willing, this and that, they come in and they kind of obscure that entire clear sky. So that's the reason why it's in withdraw, withdraw, withdraw. So this is what it means. And how do you do that? Through meditation. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. We have to listen to the lectures, keep on listening, but that's part of the job. Because that's in Vedanta is called the Shravana, the listening. Thinking, people think, you have to think. Not just think. It is analyzing. It is separating component parts. You analyze this book and you'll find, there is no such thing as a book, you see. Oh, this is nothing but an old tree. Pulp was made into a book, etc., etc. And the ink is nothing but a dye. So you start analyzing. And then you say, what is the pulp? And nothing from the wood. It was some living being. The tree, and then the tree was some other living being. But then you start analyzing and you go down to the atomic, molecular and atomic level and everything. Finally you find, oh my God, there's nothing like this kind of book here outside. What is this book? So this is thinking, deep thinking, but it has to be done through meditation. Not simple cogitation. Because this cogitation is not going to lead you anywhere. Because as you see, there was a monk who had read a lot of Vedanta, and he was now fully convinced that he is the Atman. And since he was not well, he had gone to consult a doctor. Well, the doctor said he will need a surgery. And he said, it was all right. And during surgery, he's saying, okay, I don't want to be unconscious. Don't use anesthesia. So the doctor is trying to convince him, no, you won't be able to bear that pain. It's painful. Oh no, I'm the Atman. Yes. It is, I'm different from the body, etc. So the doctor said, all right. So the day of the surgery had come, and then the monk went in, and then, you're sure? Doctor is saying, are you sure? Don't want anesthesia? Yeah, no problem. Okay. And then they put him on the gurney, etc. And then the doctor is showing the various scalpels. And now he's fully paying full attention to that. And then suddenly he leaps out of the gurney. He had come and say, the Atman cannot be cut, cannot be wetted, cannot be tried, cannot be burnt, etc. So, Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati. And then he jumped and runs, saying, all this is lies, all lies, all lies. Sab jhoot hai, sab jhoot. He runs away. This is the Vedanta head. When the crunch comes, that's what you do. Now, there's another, you can say, incident in the life of Swami Nikhilananda. Now, he had to undergo a surgery. And he also told the doctor, no, I don't want anesthesia. The doctor said, it's going to be painful. Yeah, I know. It's And then, what are you going to do? I'm going to withdraw my mind. No, mind. And he did that, and the doctor undertook that surgery, and everything was fine. He was conscious, he never made any murmur, and there was no sensation of pain, etc., nothing. Same thing happened with Trigunatitananda. He had to go, the doctor, he said, no, I don't want anesthesia. All right. Good. Even Sri Ramakrishna, when he say, okay, telling his disciple, okay, now clean it. I've pulled my mind away from it. Huh? What is this, pull my mind? What is this, pull your mind away from that? What? How? Where you keep it? Yeah, you can do that. So difference between Turiyananda, Trigunatyananda, like Sri Ramakrishna and all these, and other ordinary guys, they practiced meditation. And they could withdraw and merge it in the, but not that other guy who was a talker. So we've got to be careful about, these are the guys who can apply Vedanta. They did that, and they can merge it higher and higher and higher. Because as you withdraw the senses into the mind, merge it. And merge, it's like in the Gospel, Sri Ramakrishna says, quoting Dayananda, it's like, get in and close the door. Tell the senses, they shut. They actually like clang, shut. Sri Ramakrishna, when he was practicing, he used to feel a kind of a clacking sound, like somebody's turning the keys. And he couldn't move his limbs at all. And then when he finished meditation, although the reverse clacking sound, as he was released. So merge, pull his higher and higher, it becomes very subtle inside. The intellect and then the higher mind, it's all becomes so subtle and so refined and fine. There you can catch the glimpse of the Atman, like it is there that you merge your individual existence in this. So the Bhagavad Gita, Yached Vang Manasi Prajna, that is, you merge speech into the mind. Yached Man Atmani, the Jnana Atmani. So merge the mind in the intellect, Jnana Atmani. Jnana Atmani Mahati Niyachari. Merge that, your intellect, in the cosmic mind. What? Yes. And then merge that whole cosmic mind in that Shant Atmani, that peaceful self that is beyond all duality. So, because your mind and my mind and everybody's mind is part of that cosmic mind, the intellect, so, and then you merge it there. And then you become what? You are now identified with the cosmic mind. At that stage, the external world, the objective world has disappeared. It has become the cosmic mind. And then the cosmic mind has emerged in the great self, Mahati. Yached Vang Manasi Prajna Tadached Jnana Atmani. Jnana Atmani Mahati Niyached Tadached Shanta. And then, that famous verse is there. Uttishtata Jagrata. Rise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. That is Swamiji says. So it's rise, awake, do that. Do something in life. Do something in life. What are you doing? Oh, we want money. That has been tried 10,000 years, more than that. And nobody has been happy. No, let's try for name and fame. Oh, that also has been tried. Nobody has been. They found it useless. And what do? We do this. Okay. So I'll read it. The wise one, Sudhihi, one with a beautiful intellect, should intelligently, dhiya, through the merge the entire objective world. Atmanieva akhilam drishyam pravilapya. The entirety of this objective world is now to merge it intelligently by the intelligent one in the Atman. Bhavaye, that is meditate, constantly think deeply. Ekam Atmanam, the one Atman. Clear like the sky, stainless as the sky. He has given a stainless sky, as in the case of the clear autumn sky, in which the various fantastic forms created by clouds during the rainy season disappear. This is for India, of course. But it's here also. Here we have the rainy, always rainy season. Okay. So when the clouds that obscure the clear sky have vanished, then what remains? That clear sky. Nirmala Akashavat, clear sky. Okay. So the instruction here is one has to meditate, and meditate deeply, not sitting down and thinking of 20 things, and then that 20 things will lead you to 40 things, and the 40 things will lead you to 60 and 60 and 80 and gone. And in a few minutes, it's off. You are thinking now of the objective world. So meditate on one idea. Become absorbed in it. Like in today's reading, after the Vespers, Swami Nikhilananda, get absorbed in one idea. Like, I am the Atman. Do that. And hold on to that, and don't let your mind stray. And get deeper and deeper and deeper into this idea. Then you'll find this idea is revealing itself. The I that you think you are has now become unsubstantial. There is a higher dimensions and opening up and opening up, opening up. And then you'll find that the I is nothing but the Tao, that Atman. And then the I will merge inside. Then you'll get the other. So it's meditation. Okay. Now, so much for these two verses on meditation. These are the instructions for meditation. One has to, he said, for one, he showed the physical signs of you have to sit down, etc. Sit down straight, of course. Why? Because if you sit down like this, then we know you're not meditating. Yeah, now everybody's straightening up. Yeah, that when you sit down straight, it's attention. Pay attention. And posture indicates temperament. Yeah. So I used to go to various places. They say, sit down and meditate. And they will sit down and all ready, all following instruction. After a while, the head is heavier. You're thinking so much. It goes down. Everything. It pulls the spinal cord also down. So meditation is, and that arouses the willpower there. So that the physical side has been given, and then the internal dynamics have been given. Merge one into the other over and over and over again. then you reach. The next one, 40. One who has attained the supreme goal. Now we are speaking about the result of that meditation. This is the Jivan Mukti. They are liberated in life. That's called. One who has attained the supreme goal discards all such objects as name and form and dwells as the embodiment of infinite consciousness and bliss. Wonderful. Gives up all names and forms. Naturally, all names and forms are time-space causation. And all time, space and causation is something called the magical power of Maya. So you give up that. All names and forms have been stilled. Then what do you experience? You experience this. You will know that you are an embodiment of infinite consciousness and bliss. Yeah. This is the inner experience of that person who has succeeded in quelling what is name and form? Everything has name and form. This is everything. Abstract things, it has name and form. Everything has a name and form. And if everything has name and form, the mind also has name and form. It's called a chitta vritti. Okay. The wave in the mind. Every wave has a name and form. What is the name? Yeah, you have this book here. Oh, it's a book. Oh, all right. It has a form also. There's a corresponding name and form of the book here. Because I remember this. So there's a form. So whatever is there in the external world made of name and form, which is everything. See, in Vedanta, they boil it down to a few principles that explains everything. They don't get all these kind of... Now, of course, scientists and all, they're trying to have it has a unified field theory. That's one force that can explain all the other forces, where everything is derived. Where all matter is derived. So we had come down to Akash and Prana. So we had done that. So they will take one or two words to explain everything in the universe. Akash, Prana, Nama, Rupa, name and form, explains everything. What is this? This is the name, this is the form. To understand Vedanta, you have to understand those key words, those principles. There's a huge, you can say, implication behind these simple principles. Later on, the other philosophers come and made such things so complex and complicated. And as a Vedanta comes and says, stick to this. All the forms of gods and goddesses, they all names and forms. Really? Yeah. Everything. Subtle, physical, is all. So this name and form, once you have given up, discards, vihaya, sarvam vihaya, everything. Then what remains? Oh, it's an illusion. No. That is Buddhism. Vedanta says, oh, what remains? Brahman. The illusion has gone away. Everything is an illusion. Who said so? So Swamiji, in one of his lectures on Maya, speaks. Yeah, the people, when they hear the doctrine of Maya, they say, oh, it's talking about illusion. It has some basis because coming from the Buddhistic philosophers who did not believe in the reality of the external world at all. Not all Buddhistic philosophies, some of them, like the Shunyavadins, the nihilists, who say everything is void, empty. And the Kshanika Vijnanavadis, those who hold the doctrine of momentary consciousness. For them, the external world does not exist. But for us, we say, yeah, the external world does not exist, but Brahman exists. That's a big difference. So then what? You become the embodied and dwells avatishtate as the embodiment of infinite consciousness and bliss. It's not you give up illusion and get into a bigger illusion. This is the reality. So what are we? Now you can see we are a mixture of both reality and unreality. And Swamiji says, this is a kind of a mystic twilight. Where they meet, no one knows. We are walking in the midst of a haze, half sleeping, half waking. This is the fate of all sense knowledge, of all boasted knowledge, of this. All this is the world. So we are saints in this Maya, we are devils in this Maya, we are everything. So here it is. So this is the kind of a mystic twilight that we are in. Neither real nor unreal when we are. So you got to discard one. What do you discard? Names and forms. Discards all such objects as name and form. The original is Rupa and Varna. Form and color, etc. Means name also. So the word is embodiment of infinite. Yeah, infinite. Paripurna, the fullness of consciousness and bliss as one's own self. Oh, what a wonderful discards, that is to say, the note says, merges all these illusory superimpositions in the substratum of Brahman. Brahman is the substratum. The water is the substratum. The Pacific Ocean is the substratum of all the waves that are there in the Pacific Ocean. You cannot say, I want the waves only. You cannot get waves without the ocean. So we miss out the ocean for the waves. Yeah. All that exists is really Brahman. This is no doubt true for both the illumined and the ignorant, both for us. But the ignorant, owing to this illusion, believe in the reality of names and forms and thus see the relative world in the place of Brahman. So this is real. Yeah. Somebody will come and hit you on the head. Is this real or no? Yeah, this is real. So you think the world is real. Yes. You're hungry and you eat real food. I'm eating real food. Real ID, real food, real. I tell you, it's all lumped in Vedanta as unreal. Analyze it and then you'll find it's nothing. So there's a Vedantic discipline aims at discarding this illusory notion of multiplicity. There is no multiplicity at all. Neha nanasti kinchana. The Upanishads say, there is no diversity at all here. One who experiences diversity goes from death to death. Mrityu samrityu apnoti ya iha naneva pashyati. One who sees the many, the diverse things, goes from death to death. So, all right, we'll go. Death is real. That's why I say death is real. Yeah. For you go. Go and come again. Go and come again. That's great fun. So then what is this? You have to see that one in the many, that water in every wave, big, small, in a bubble, in the foam and everything. Once you touch that, you're free. So that is the supreme goal. One who has attained the supreme goal discards. How do you discard? You have already retracted your senses, etc., your understanding. Then the experience comes and then it hits you. How does it hit you? Well, it hit. So Swami Vivekananda, when he was in LA, in Pasadena, there was a young boy, Ralph, staying in the same house as he. Ralph was nice. He was 17 or 18 years old. So he's saying, Ralph, you know what God is like? He's looking at me. Can you see your own eyes? The eyes see everything else, but you cannot see your own eyes. Truth of God is something like that. You do everything through that Atman, that God within, and yet you deny it. So that what can be done about it? It will come again and again. So this is a very fine school. You won't graduate quickly till you come. So like to see your own eyes, you need a mirror. Oh, this is what it is. So in the mind's eye, there's no I in the mind, but it's called like that it is conscious of itself. That's the difference. And that is Atman, self-consciousness. Okay. The next note is dwells. Compare as a lamp in a windless place does not flicker. That's a figure of speech used for the disciplined mind of a yogi practicing concentration. That's the very famous illustration in the Bhagavad Gita. How? The flame is always flickering because the breeze is always, it needs air, so it's always. When there's the flickering stops, the breeze stops blowing, there's air is stilled. That is the time you get realization. Okay. All names and forms and everything drops. When you have made your buddhi merge in the higher and higher, when your entire physical, mental, sensory and all these existence has become perfectly still. When the prana, that also has become perfectly still. There is no breathing. There is no heartbeat. Everything has become perfectly still. That is the time you break through. That's the breakthrough. Okay. That's why as a lamp in a windless place does not flicker. That is when you get that, not before this. Okay, we'll stop here for today. This section was mainly on the meditation part of Vedanta that has to be emphasized. And generally people, they skip over this and go to the more glamorous parts. This is the unglamorous part of Vedanta. Why? Because hard work. There's no glamour in that. Yeah. But this is important. Without this, Vedanta is just a doctrine. So before we can, there are no questions here. So tomorrow, Saturday, there's a Karma Yoga here. But then we also have heard that this traffic is going to be bad, extremely bad. So you decide. However, you decide at least on Sunday to make it here, because Swami Aparananda, we have a guest Swami, is a very senior, very venerable Swami, who will be speaking on the Bhagavad Gita at 10 a.m. here. So he stays in the Bay Area. He's visiting Seattle for a few days. And again on Sunday at 7 p.m., we have Ram Nam. That's for those who like to sing their hearts out. Come. Sing their hearts out and pour it to the Lord, of course, to Rama. We can. Yeah, I think we have, and July 27th, of course, we have Mother's Luncheon. That's a annual special function here. Go to the website and check it out. There also you need to leave a few minutes early to avoid the heavy traffic. It's at Tapovan, of course. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.